Hello everybody, this is Con on the Road, and today is a very interesting topic because I am just now departing Proton COE, okay, where we just had a preview, okay, of the new what you call it, SUV, which as we all know, is based on the Geely Boyue, but the name has just been revealed to be the Proton X70. Yeah, so Proton is now following the European style of naming their cars using the alphanumeric convention. There is no indication whether this will be carried on for future models. We do not know if they will be, retaining the Saga, Persona, and all these iconic nameplates for future models. But what we know is that the new SUV is going to carry the X70 name. Okay, now, so the X70 name was chosen from an online contest, all the members of the public are invited to submit their nomination, okay, of what they think to be a suitable name for the new Proton SUV, and X70 was chosen as it. Okay, so the Boyue was developed by Geely, and it was conceived entirely as a left-hand drive model. Okay, right-hand drive really only came into the picture after Geely bought into Proton. So it is not entirely fair to say that the X70 is nothing more than a rebadge of the Boyue, because there are some engineering inputs from Proton personnel. We've been told that Proton has sent their engineers over to China and to work on the car. So the actual development work, I would say they didn't mention this specifically, but I would say that the bulk of the development work actually still took place in China, right? So but Proton engineers were there. They provided their inputs into the right-hand drive conversion of the vehicle, and they told us that they built a total 70 over prototypes, and they tested the reliability testing of those prototypes, right? Added up to over 2 million kilometers. They actually sent 7 prototypes from China into Malaysia to undergo localized testing. So all the X70 prototypes underwent a cumulative 2 million kilometers of testing, and this does not include the earlier durability testings that Geely did for the Boyue. So Proton engineers did pretty extensive work on the car, and of course the question on the minds of many of us enthusiasts would be, does the X70 have Proton's trademark ride and handling characteristics? And we've been told that it does. The chassis settings, the suspension settings of the car are unique from the Boyue, so that's a bit of local flavor there for you. But design-wise, okay, the Boyue is styled by ex-Volvo man Peter Horbury. Okay, he is the man who is responsible for many of Volvo's latest designs. Now he's working with Geely. Now, so the base design, the overall design is by Peter Horbury, and the Malaysian team in Proton Design, they injected their own details into the car. So there are no changes to the sheet metal, where the sheet metal is concerned, but there are some unique Proton details which you would see in some of the photographs. By the time this video is gone up, I'm sure you would have read stories from Autobus, from Kalis, from Potan, Bandulaju, all these guys. They would have put up their stories. They would have shown you the full pictures. We were in the preview studio. We were not allowed to bring any recording devices. So, but now that they have actually released all the full pictures of the car, I don't understand. But anyways, that's a different story altogether. Now, so coming back, the overall design is basically the Geely Boyue, but what the major change is that they have changed the front end, the grille, and they've refined the bumper. So one notable touch on the grille is that the grille mesh pattern, Proton has puts what they call this infinite weave pattern. So it's something like, you know, an S shape, right? That stacks upon each other side to side, which Proton says is inspired by traditional Malay wood carvings. That same motif is repeated inside when you look closely at the speakers. Okay, the speaker, right? You will notice that the same what they call the infinite weave design pattern, which I think it is a very nice touch. It is a fantastic detail. Okay, the original Boyue, this one also is very interesting. This car actually has a lot of fantastic design details. The Boyue, right, the speakers if you look closely, right, it has that traditional Chinese motif pattern, you know, that square, like, you know, that square shape swirl and all that. So yeah, so the Boyue speakers, I remember seeing one prototype of the Boyue. It has that motif on their speakers, and you still see it on the signal stocks. The signal and the wiper stocks, okay, follow the European style left right side, and you know, it's quite obviously based off a Volvo design, but it has a unique look, and it's quite obviously designed for Geely. So because the edge of the signal stock, right, it has that traditional Chinese looking pattern that is still there, that Proton did not change it, and I don't think they have to, because that is an unnecessary cost that they have to spend. And speaking about cost, the two units of the Boyue that we saw, we saw a mid-spec all-wheel drive, and we saw a top-spec front-wheel drive car. That car, right, it does not look cheap at all. In fact, it looks and feels bloody expensive. Okay, the trim quality of that car, right, is, it's like Proton suddenly jumped from where they are here. Here's the Japanese, Proton suddenly just jumped here like that. Okay, if you talk about amongst the Japanese makes, right, I think only Mazda has the kind of perceived quality that matches up with the X70. If you talk about the CRV has a more practical cabin, but material selections, very, very average next to the X70. Okay, it's raining now. I hope it doesn't cut out my audio too much. Right. So other interior. So between the mid spec and the premium spec that I saw, right, the differences in features, the premium spec has sunroof, mid spec does not. Premium spec also has autonomous emergency braking. It has active cruise control. The mid spec model has regular cruise control. In fact, I understand that Proton is more or less following the model position, the model hierarchy that Honda adopted for the CRV, which you have a premium two-wheel drive at the top, then you have a mid-spec all-wheel drive at the below, and other variants below that, which to me, I always felt that it does not make sense, because I always think you can have a mid-spec all-wheel drive, you can have a top-spec two-wheel drive, but for the sake of completion, there should be a top spec model available in conjunction with all-wheel drive, because as you can see, right, in raining weather like this, in an SUV, I very much prefer to have the security of all-wheel drive. Right, so but yeah, that aside, right, I really struggle to make any noticeable differences in terms of spec between the two variants of cars. But suffice to say, right, even if you look at the mid-spec level, the equipment is pretty fantastic. The mid-spec level offers daytime running lights. Okay, the headlights look probably like halogen projectors, which is still okay. They are still projector headlamps, so it doesn't look cheap. You get daytime running lights LED. You get 360-degree camera, which is a godsend for any SUV. You still get cruise control, regular cruise control. You still get keyless entry. So it is a very highly spec car, and the interior trim of that car is very, very beautifully finished. And there is you have a nice layer. You have two pair of grab handles in the center console that really adds a touch of class. And the finishings, you get a mix of brushed aluminum finish on the dash, and also like a shiny aluminum finish, you know, insert as a contrast. So I think that's nice. The plastics also have a very soft touch feel, very nice feel to it. In fact, overall the whole cabin, right, my only quality question mark actually is the brushed aluminum finish on the dash surface. That feels a little rough, but overall, right, it is a fantastic looking cabin. And oh, did I mention virtual instrument clusters, same like what you see in the Volvo V40. So not at the level of the current gen Spa platform, but the previous gen Volvo instrument cluster, which is not too bad. Then yeah, so here's another thing. USB ports. There are 6. Guess where they put the 6? So you got 2 USB ports at the right below the rear aircon vents. Okay, 1 USB port inside this box here, 1 USB port at either side of the center console, you know. Okay, so you have the center console here like this, right? You have 1 USB port here, 1 USB port on this side, and then right there, right at the side there, right, there is like an empty tray there. For you can put your phone in there. So that's very touching. So that's 5, right? 5 USB ports. Where's the 6th one? Here. And right behind the rear view mirror. Why do they want to put a USB port there? Because you know why? These days a lot of people like to install dash cam, right? So if you put a dash cam, okay, the dash cam needs power. If you want to power it from your cigarette lighter or from your USB port, you have to run a wire up there, very messy, dangling wire. The alternative is you pull a wire through your A pillar and out, but that means having to open up your trim and all that, and you have to splice your wiring, and that may not be a good thing in a modern car. So what the Boyer the X70 has, they just put a USB port there. They give you a USB port there, patch out your dash cam there, voila, done, end of story. Brilliant. So yeah, powertrain, the car comes with a turbocharged engine, direct injection, with 130 kilowatts of outputs. I can't remember how did wait now it's traffic is stopped, right? 130 kilowatts HP. So with 174 horsepower, 285 newton meters of torque. So it is pretty decent, decently punchy unit, all right? And it's mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission, I believe. Yeah. Then of course, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you get a choice between front and all-wheel drive. So overall, right, it is spec-wise, this is a very, very competitive car. It puts the X70 right on par with premium vehicles. So the question now in everyone's mind is pricing. So Proton has opened the order books. Okay, so from tomorrow, 8 September onwards, that's Star Trek Day. 8 September onwards, you can go and put down your booking for the X70, and but they have not announced the official pricing of the car lah. So nor they have given any indicative pricing, but looking at the way that car is built and equipped and finished, it has to be a 6-figure price tag for sure. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this, but you know, when you open the bonnet, okay, not only does it has the engine bay is fully covered. Okay, I'm not talking about just one cover on top of the cylinder head. I am talking about you have a whole plastic cover encompassing the entire engine bay with just a little hole showing you that cover on top of the cylinder head. All right, and there are 2 pneumatic struts that lift up the bonnet, so you don't even need to open the bonnet, then look for the strut and put there. No need. So what is obvious is that with this car, right, Proton absolutely did not show any noticeable signs of cost cutting, and which means that in order to be able to sell this car profitably, you are looking at a very, very high price. And if
Watch out, vehicle stopped on
if
shoulder
this
ahead.
car is not carrying a Proton badge, if this was a Mazda or a Honda or a Volkswagen, at this level of equipment, this level of fit and finish, you are looking at 170, 180k easy. Okay, but I mean, I look at this car, right, I'm thinking, sorry, sending water, have to pay attention. This, because they Proton, I believe they want to price the car aggressively. So, but I don't think they can go below 100 lah. So looking at it, right, I would say a fair price is about in the 110 to 140 price bracket. That would make this a very a car that is, you know, charging a price tag that is, I would say, quite correspond to the value proposition of the car. Yeah, so so I'm flashing you some pictures of the car, and drop me a line in the comment section. Let me know what you think. What do you think is, based on the spec and price and what I just told you, what do you think is a fair price for this car? I think it is unrealistic to expect anything less than 100,000 lah, to be frank about it. So I think, right, I'm realistically looking at 110k as a starting point, and going up to 130, 140 for the top spec model with all the bells and whistles. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts. Share with me your thoughts. And this is definitely an exciting car. All right. Whether or not it will translate to a sales success remains to be seen. The first batch of cars will come fully imported from China. Proton they are currently prepping the Tanjung Malim plant. So once production is up and going at Tanjung Malim, the Tanjung Malim plant will then serve as Geely's global production hub for the right-hand drive version of the X70, whatever whatever brand they choose to sell in the given market. So this genuinely is exciting times ahead for Proton. Okay, and these guys from Geely, they are very aggressive, and they are looking to thoroughly refresh the Proton lineup in the next few years. There will be a new model launched practically every year. So the X70 is really just the start of a new model offensive. And yeah, so I mean, as a Malaysian, I want to see this homegrown brand, even though China owns the Chinese brand owns half of the company now, I still want to see Proton succeed. Because as a country, we have invested over 30 years and millions of ringgit worth of resources into Proton. There is really no point in, you know, hoping and praying for this company to fall. So as a Proton owner, as an owner of 2 Proton cars myself, I genuinely wish to see, you know, one day Proton genuinely standing tall and heads and shoulders with the best car makers in the world. Okay, so that concludes my thoughts on this car, on the Boyes. Share with me your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click like, to click the subscribe button below. And until my next video, thanks for watching. Bye for now.